It's the best of 3 winners match of this Group A of the latest DreamHack between 2 incredible players. I'm Akontistes, and here in the bottom right hand corner of Berlingrad, the red Protoss is currently spawning, alien from Korea. It is Trap. His opponent, Canadian Zerg in the blue, ready to make an impact. It is Scarlett. Yeah, we're starting it off with a good old arch block. And if I remember correctly, Berlingrad has a 36-second rush distance. It's nothing too crazy. What is this probe doing? It was acting a little bit suspicious for a second. But yeah, no Forge. Trap will never do that, right? Just gonna be a little bit annoying. Force the archery on the third. Just the usual, right? Nothing off the book. Gonna be a gateway expand again, on one side against just the average Ajgas pool. Both players know the stakes are high and they don't want to have anything too weird to start the series off. Almost all of the players are still trying to get accustomed to the new maps. It's been a while since we had new maps, so it's gonna be a little bit more difficult, since there are a lot of new maps as well, to actually become proficient in these new maps. Even though some of these players already have had their chance to try them in other tournaments. First time in an official one. It's gonna be a Twilight Council opener on the side of Trap. Not a Stargate. Usually on maps such as this, with so much blocking on every single point, so many choke points, so many rocks, side blockers, ramps, and of course this beautiful addition of the mineral wall alongside the rocks next to the main. It's gonna be difficult to get on this ramp on the natural with an offensive build. But that also means that it makes a little bit harder to defend against shades. And this looks to me like an old classic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but my eyes are definitely not deceiving me. It's gonna be Glaives. And it's one heck of a way to start this series off. Of course, this build just never went anywhere. It always has been strong. There's really nothing that made this build weak, aside from the fact that Zero players are very good at adapting, they're very good at learning new ways to counter aggressive builds, especially against Protoss players. That's also part of the reason why Zero players tend to do better towards the end of an year, towards the latest tournaments of a season. Compared to the first few months. And you see Scarlett getting already quite a bit of units out. Doesn't even need to scout over here. She knows, just seeing so many adepts being produced and nothing really scouting in the early game, that something tricky is incoming. Trap already has a full back plan with robotics being incoming, not really looking to get a third base as well. Someone very, very clever once said, when you all-in, don't forget to all-in. And Trap decides to go in with his shades. Will he complete them? I guess he will. Too many units attacking on him at once. Already getting in a mineral line over here in the main. Getting 3 drones. This is not really doing the damage that Trap wanted it. Oh, the Biles almost get on top of the drones. It's going to be a cancel shade, meaning that 5 more drones are going to fall, but it's going to be a forced recall by Trap. More adepts are gonna be warped in by this warp prism, head into the natural, but again, Lings and Ravagers already greeting them. It's gonna be 7 kills on the side of Trap, evening the score on workers. 8, 9. Actually, Scarlett slipping a little bit off on their defense after the first wave, losing actually a little bit too many drones. Finally, Trap getting the damage he was looking for. This is actually a lot of damage from Trap. It's going to be 15 drones killed, forcing Scarlett into a whole lot of a cycle only of drones. And Trap already has a disruptor incoming with 1 already out. And of course, Warp Prism speed to be even more aggressive with this kind of harassment. This might be very deadly, very quickly. Colossus incoming as well. Trap again getting a lot of gateways, not really looking to expand. Really trying to be as aggressive as possible. Warp Prism zooming through the map and getting into the natural. Queens ready to shoo him away. But the disruptors can still be so strong, even against the Queens. 2-shotting them with a Purification Novas. And 1 Queen goes down indeed. Quick spread is looking good for Scarlett. It's going to be hard for Trap to get in without being scouted. But Trap really looking to find a weakness in the defensive line of the Zerg player. 4 Soldiers being warped in an aggressive position, more incoming, and it's a lot of adepts, even a Colossus with this attack. That's still a lot of Ravagers. There's not many sentries for those Biles to be forced on force fields. And the Disruptors already zoning the Roaches out, as well as the Ravagers. 1 Corrosive Bile is going to almost kill the Disruptor. The rest of the Ravagers are going to finish the job. And honestly, this defense has been looking way too clean for Trap to continue. And now its sentry is being chased down. Yes, Scarlett is still taking damage. Oh my god, these adepts have been so obnoxious throughout this game. But Scarlett right now on the doorstep of Trap's natural with quite a lot of Roach and Ravagers. Purification Novas not really hitting jackpot, and as you can see, all of the Disruptors have been killed. Trap forced to make more, meaning doesn't have Colossi, and you know what? It doesn't even have Extended Thermal Lance. This is not looking good for the Protoss player. 1 Purification Nova is not gonna hit anything, and there's not gonna be another one for quite a while. A lot of drones are actually falling into this Colossus, being moved around by the Warp Prism, but Scarlett is in a very, very aggressive position right now with so many units. Ravagers piling down the Cybernetics core and heading into the natural. Shield battery overcharge, is it going to help? It looks like it doesn't. Scarlett almost having double the supply of Trap. Beautiful Purification Nova, is it going to be enough? The shield battery goes down. Scarlett going forward and forward. The Disruptor goes down before he can get the beautiful Purification Nova in. And it doesn't really look like Trap is going to defend. Scarlett takes game number 1 of the series. You're on Curious Minds for our second set of this best of 3 series. And here in the bottom right hand corner, the Red Protoss is currently spawning in its 2 in a row to advance to the next stage. It is Trap. A beautiful show in game number 1. She's ready to do it again. It's the Canadian Blue Zerg, Scarlett. Of course, it won't be easy. Trap, even if he fell, that game, he still killed so many drones. He just wasn't really ready for the follow-up. And he lost both disruptors, and that just spells disaster in many cases. And Scarlett just took advantage and went all in herself, getting a quick and easy kill on her opponent. This time, is it going to be different? Again on a short map, I will be surprised if none of these two players decide to go for an aggressive build order. I really don't want Trap to go for the Twilight Council again though. He did deal a lot of damage, but his follow-up it really wasn't clean. Not clean at all. While Scarlett just had really made up her mind on going aggro after realizing it was not going to be too many key units for such a long time. Like, of course, if you go for that kind of build, you spend a lot of resources on wood prism speed, 2 disruptors. Of course, the Colossus is important. It didn't even have extended thermal lines. Adepts still cost quite a bit of SP. Just not going to have like Templar Archives, Stargate as well. These kind of key structures, they're just too expensive, and so are the Immortals. So Scarlett just had kind of the perfect storm. It's not like the Twilight Council build was bad, and Trap is going again for the Twilight Council build. It's just that I do feel that against a player as versatile as Scarlett, maybe Stargate is a little bit better, especially in the hands of Trap, who is arguably one of the strongest Stargate player in the world. But we will see. A cleaner execution on the side of Trap might mean the Scarlett is going to be a lot more behind after the Glaive Adepts are going to show up at their doorstep. Scarlett getting her third, a little bit of a supply block and an unfortunate timing. Not gonna mean much. The larva cycle is not going to be wasted, as you can see. A lot of drones in the production. But Scarlett is not really preparing quick enough for this, and Trap has something else in store. It's not going to be the Robotics Bay. It's a Dark Shrine follow-up, knowing that Scarlett is probably going to delay her lair tech for quite a lot of time, needing a lot of roaches for defense. The Warp Prism is on the way. Oh wait, no glaives. It's just an Archon drop. Oh wow. Huh. I've been fooled. And you know what? I really like this. Forcing Scarlett into making a lot of units, seeing these adepts especially. That's a 200 IQ idea on the side of a Trap. Making Scarlett think it's going to be a lot of depths, forcing her into making a lot of links. She's not going to be fooled. Spore Crawlers on the way. It was a little bit late. If it was just the... come on. Yeah, she knows. She definitely knows. The Adepts are shitting in, it's just for Adepts. And here go, the Dark Templars. Sporcular in the natural, Sporcular in the main. Oh boy. This Dark Templar is very lucky to be alive. And so is this other one. Of course, Trap will not do much. Probably just gonna start making Immortals and making those Dark Templars into Archons. As you can see, Trap actually looking to go into the main. There's going to be one Overload over here, checking for anything weird. The Overload doesn't stay on the pillar and actually dies. Forcing a little bit of a supply block. The 2 Evo Chambers and a lair incoming means that a lot of resources for tech are going to be needed, so it's not the end of the world for Scarlett. And Trap heading into the main, who's gonna get a couple of drones before he can get away from there. Actually, just the 2. Yeah, just the 2. I think a little bit too much of a beat. beating, sorry, on this Warp Prism. But indeed, it's not going to be anything deadly. This Dark Templar is doomed, on the other hand, after getting only 2 drones. Not the best trade possible. But overall, it doesn't really look like Trap is looking to do much more with them. Trying to get as many Immortals and Sentries as possible, while Scarlett is getting a +1 missile attack. Oh, the Dark Templar is going to get a Cryptimer. Oh, the Warp Prism is in a little bit of trouble. After taking the beating he took in the main before. He needs to get out of there before anything scary happens to it. It's going to be 4 gateways, usual explosion of gateways of a Protoss player on the 3rd base with a painliness and +1 melee. Scarlett taking both the attack upgrades for her ground units, while Trap is getting his own forge just now. Protoss upgrades take a long time. It does sound a little bit late, especially with the way that Scarlett is playing this. She's not really making a lot of drones, she's getting a 4th. But honestly, it does look like it's going to be more for production than for something else. 5 overloads in the production tab as well makes me think that Scarlett just wants a lot of units. And yeah, these 10 roaches and 7 ravagers in the production tab makes me think this even more. Robotic speed coming for Trap, trying to get a little bit too much tech, a little bit all over the place. I don't really feel confident on the side of Trap. There's going to be so many units from Scarlett with actually good upgrades. And you know, Ling, Roach Ravager, Banelings, it's always a very, very strong kind of unit composition. Trap is trying to get control of both the watchtowers, meaning that he's going to have a lot of vision, forcing Scarlett to actually break down the rocks in the middle, forcing herself into a little bit of a choke point against these many sentries. Oh, Trap knows the rocks are not there anymore. And he knows there's something a little bit scary. Oh, these Dark Templar are getting a very good piece of information. There's no drones over here. And I think by now, Trap knows this is no bueno. It's going to be a lot of units. Scarlett very close to maxing out with 28 Banelings. Speed almost done for these Banelings, while charge is not even halfway through. Scarlett in a very commanding position, she's just waiting to move forward. Baneling speed just finishes. And Scarlett trying to get us around, trying to hit on multiple sides at once. The units of Trap trying to retreat into the comfiest position possible. Beautiful force fields actually blocking so many of these Banelings. The Ravager piles are gonna help with that, but so many Banelings were wasted in the effort of trying to break through, but the Ravagers are just too many. The place in which Trap fell into was a little bit too comfy, and those Ravager piles just hit everything on his own side. The photon cannon just was deleted by these piles, and now Scarlett is safely destroying the third base of Trap, who's expanding on the top side but losing 21 probes. It's nothing great. Charge almost finished, but Scarlett is relentlessly pushing forward with 2 Overseers to counter any Dark Templar defense. It's a lot of Colossi with the Warp Prism really juggling them back and forth. But the 780 score is unpowered, so many gateways have been destroyed and the piles are just raining on top of every single structure that blocks them. The Colossi are not enough, this is gonna be a 2-0 victory on the side of Scarlett. The Colossi are falling and GG gets cold.